Hey friends, welcome to Movie Explore. Today I'll show you a strange German time travel movie, Look Who's Back. The story shows that during World War II, Hitler suddenly comes out of his bunker straight to the present day. So, if you want to know what Hitler did in this 2000th century, you have to watch the end of today's story. So let's start today's movie story. The story begins sometime during World War II, where Hitler is sitting with one of his generals discussing the future of the German nation. But in the next scene we see Hitler lying in a forest, where Hitler had just regained his senses back and was shocked to see his surroundings. Then a children's football come to him. He got very scared, and as he sat up from there some kids came in front of him to take the ball. Hitler realizes that these children are the future of his country, so he asks them if they are all right. The children were quite shocked to hear Hitler's strange words, so they took their balls and left anyway. But here a journalist was gathering news with a cameraman, and without the journalist's knowledge Hitler's slight appearance was recorded on camera. Anyway, now Hitler went out in search of his bunker with his general's cap on his head. But as soon as he arrived in the middle of the road, he saw that young people were driving many modern scooters. Hitler was very shocked to see the surrounding environment, because people around him were all taking pictures of him. But strangely, it wasn't a camera, it was a mobile phone that Hitler had never seen before, and people were taking pictures and videos because they thought Hitler might be an actor. At first, Hitler posed with them and took several pictures, but gradually he was getting very annoyed by all this, and in order to remove his doubts after seeing such strange activities, Hitler went to a woman who was talking on the phone and asked to know today's date. But as soon as the woman sprayed his eyes with, Hitler's eyes were red and squinting, blurred vision, he moves forward, and at one point he stumbles upon a newspaper shop, where he saw today's date, which was October 3, 2014. Seeing this, the sky fell on Hitler's head and he fainted on the spot. Anyway, we are now shown the office room of a national television called My TV, where the owner of the company praises the work of an employee named Carter, but still promotes a woman named Helena to the position of MD of the company. Carter gets angry and goes to his cabin and sits down. Then when the journalist who first captured Hitler on video, Cabin, came to work with Carter. Although it would have benefited Carter, but in anger of not getting the promotion, he showed his anger on the Cabin and kicked him out of the office. Meanwhile, at the house of that newspaper shopkeeper, Hitler regained consciousness. The shopkeeper was still standing next to Hitler. So Hitler asked him today's date again. As usual, it was 2014. Hitler thought that this man was planned and kidnapped here by someone from his enemy. Enemies may have trapped him here through some illusion technology. So in the angry, Hitler threatens to kill the shopkeeper, but instead the shopkeeper hands him a chocolate, which Hitler says is there's still a famine in the country. The shopkeeper says with a smile that first tell me if there is a movie shooting somewhere nearby or not. You look like real Hitler. However, Hitler asked for several German newspapers from the man, and after researching them for a long time, Hitler found out that he actually lost the war during World War II. And then the Germans made various comedy shows and comedy movies about him. Even Poland, which Hitler wanted to occupy, is now an independent country. Hitler was very shocked to see these things, and he saw them again. Current German political power is over a woman who had no idea about politics. Hitler was devastated by this. However, he thinks that maybe he is getting this new life to make up for his imperfections. On the other hand, the journalist named Cabin watched the video on which Hitler was recorded, and he was very broken because today he was fired from the job. Seeing this, Kevin's mother comforts him, but then Kevin's mother is shocked to see the man who looks like Hitler in her video. And Kevin himself zooms in and takes a good look at Hitler, and decides that he will tour the whole of Germany with this Hitler lookalike, and record the various reactions and make a documentary. Kevin didn't know that this man was actually the real Hitler. Anyway, the next morning the shopkeeper asks Hitler to arrange some magazines in his shop, but Hitler is very angry with him for asking him to work. And then the shopkeeper tells him that you should take your clothes to the laundry, because they smell dirty. Hearing the man's words, Hitler went to a local laundry, went there and asked for a similar cloth before giving him his own clothes, but the laundry did not have any such old clothes. So Hitler was forced to give his clothes to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper gave Hitler a modern pair of jeans and a sweater, which Hitler wore for the first time in his life. However, when Hitler returned to the newspaper shop after wearing the modern clothes, he was found by a journalist named Cabin. Cabin was very surprised to see Hitler, because he looked exactly like the real Hitler, Cabin was very happy and told him, "I want to take you on a tour all over Germany. I want to make a documentary about you, so that future generations can know about you." Hitler immediately agreed to his words. With Hitler's consent, Cabin went to his mother and asked for some money, and then they took a car and went on a tour all over Germany. Cabin was overjoyed to have Hitler, although he did not know that he was actually sitting with the real Hitler. Anyway, they went to different parts of Germany and recorded several videos of Hitler, and with Hitler asked the German citizens about their current situation. But many German citizens today were not at all happy with their current situation, because their biggest complaint was that people from foreign countries came to work in Germany. As a result of which they do not get proper work on their own. Hitler listens to them and promises them that he will solve all their problems. So the first day ended, and Hitler was shocked when he saw the television in their room for the first time while staying in the hotel room at night. Anyway, the next day while going to another location, Cabin asks Hitler about his short mustache, and Hitler tells him that he actually kept the mustache short so that the gas mask would fit better over his face. However, now Cabin is interviewing a dog breeder, while Hitler is playing with a small dog, but at one point when the dog bites Hitler's hand, Hitler shoots the dog dead in a fit of rage. Cabin is very angry at this, and he forbids Hitler from killing any more animals, and Cabin confiscates the gun from him. In just these few days they had traveled to several cities, due to which the Cabin was completely depleted of money. Now the Cabin comes up with an idea to earn money. He made Hitler sit in the middle of the street to sketch art of different people. Hitler could not make art like a very good artist, but still the local people started to draw pictures from him thinking that someone like Hitler would paint them. As usual, when Hitler drew caricatures of all of them, they laughed at them and gave them a lot of money, and thus they earned enough money. Then with this money they both went to many more villages in Germany to interview people. After traveling from village to town like this for several more towns, Cabin returned to his hometown and showed his boss Carter the video of the documentary. Because Cabin uploaded the video to YouTube, where it received millions of views, Carter was so impressed by Hitler's fame that he told Cabin to summon Hitler to meet him. As usual, to meet Hitler, Carter thought that Hitler was a very funny and crazy person. So he once again tells the guards to kick the two out of the office, but before leaving Hitler meets with Helena, who accompanies current MD. Hitler talked to him very nicely and told him about his YouTube views and the suffering of German people. He tells Helena that let's we change Germany together. Helena is very impressed by Hitler's words, and he quickly arranges a meeting with his colleagues, in which she orders his employee Carter to host a reality show about this man who looks like Hitler, where Hitler will give his opinion on how to change the country. But Carter did not want Hitler or Cabin to do any show in this office, but since the order came, he planned to make a comedy show with him to belittle Hitler. He also prepared a comedy script for it. But when Hitler finally appeared in front of the camera and addressed the people of Germany directly, he completely forgot the script and spoke strongly about the words he had in mind during World War II, that he would create a prosperous Germany completely free of hunger and poverty. He began to swear to the people. And hearing such a speech from Hitler's mouth, all the people present were very happy. They applauded and congratulated him, and Hitler's show went viral all over the country. Within a few days, Hitler became the biggest celebrity in the country. One after the other, several documentaries were made on various TV channels. His ideas caused a stir among the people of Germany. Hitler acted in several plays and even became so popular that some political parties tried various ways to recruit him. And so several months passed and Hitler became the biggest celebrity in the country. And seeing all this man named Carter could not bear it, because he could never bear the success of Cabin and Hitler. Meanwhile, one day Carter finds video footage of Hitler shooting the dog and some documents, and Carter immediately comes up with a plan to discipline Helena. So the next day, when Hitler was having a TV show with the people of Germany, Carter cleverly played a video of Hitler killing that dog. And seeing this cruelty of Hitler, the people present started to blame Hitler, and seeing this Hitler shouted in rage that, "I will do the same to you, I will demolish the entire TV station and make a parking lot for my tanks." After seeing all this, the people of Germany got angry with Hitler. They boycotted this show, as a result of which the current MD of the company, Helena, and Hitler were expelled from this TV office. And instead of Helena, Carter was given the new MD position. Meanwhile, Hitler lost everything and came to stay at the Cabin house. But this time he started writing a book. The book name is Look Who's Back, where Hitler wrote about his ideals in improving Germany. Several months passed like this. And then within a few days after that book was published, Hitler again became viral among everyone, because this book was liked by the people. The book written by Hitler occupied the first place as the best-selling book. Once again, Hitler became a regular face on various TV channels. On the other hand, MyTV's popularity has gradually declined since Hitler was kicked out, and now their television status has worsened. So Carter was desperate to get Hitler back into his channel once again. Without thinking much, the next morning, Carter went to the cabin to find Hitler. He agreed to give Kevin $1 million. Cabin only needs to make a documentary film about Hitler's life story, which will be aired on MyTV. Cabin agrees to this proposal without thinking much. The next day, Cabin took Hitler with him to his girlfriend's house. But here his girlfriend was a Jewish girl, whose grandmother seeing Hitler got angry and attacked him, and began to abuse Hitler, because Hitler killed millions of innocent Jews. Hearing all this, Hitler and Cabin came out of that house, but still Hitler did not think of Jews as human beings. He considered the Jews as inferior and was desperate to kill them. Cabin was very disappointed and shocked to see this. After hearing Hitler's words, Cabin started to have doubts. He asked Hitler that how did you come here? In a simple mind, Hitler tells the Cabin that he has suddenly arrived at this place. He doesn't remember anything about what happened before. Hearing these words, the Cabin was more shocked. Meanwhile, finding Hitler alone, some young men came in front of him, those who were Hitler's blind fans. These boys thought that Hitler was a great leader, and that this fake Hitler was humiliating the real Hitler by doing comedy, so they all beat him up. After being beaten, Hitler was admitted to the hospital, while Helena came to see him. Cabin on the other hand was sitting at home watching the video footage where Hitler was recorded for the first time. So after looking very carefully, Cabin saw that something shocking actually happened at Hitler's arrival point. As soon as he sees it, Cabin understands that Hitler's arrival in this world must be a big mystery, so he runs to that place at night, and he looks around carefully. Cabin can see that the grass here was burnt. And seeing a poster here, Cabin can know that this place had a bunker of Hitler during the Second World War. In an instant Cabin realizes that this is not a fake Hitler, it's the real Hitler, who has come to the present for some strange reason from the past. He rushes to the hospital to stop Hitler, but while Helena is there, Hitler leaves the hospital. Helena informs him that Hitler has gone to the studio to shoot. And Cabin continues to convince Helena that this is not a fake Hitler, this is the real Hitler, somehow from his own time to ours. He tried his best to convince Helena, but Helena did not understand him, instead started to think that he was mad. Helena calls the hospital guards and wants to hand over the Cabin, but Kevin somehow escapes from them and goes to catch Hitler. On the other hand, Hitler was getting ready for the shoot in the studio, but then Cabin came and caught his gun staring at Hitler. Cabin realized that this was the real Hitler who caused the deaths of millions of Jews. He blackmails Hitler to the roof of the building to kill him. Going there, Cabin started telling Hitler that you are the biggest monster born in Germany. Because of you Germany had to suffer for many years, nobody in Germany likes you. But Hitler says, you are completely wrong, because the German people elected me, and they will love me forever. But the Cabin didn't think so, so he shot Hitler in the chest and killed him. Hitler fell straight down from the roof. But then again Hitler says from behind that you never kill me, because I live in the hearts of people. That is, Hitler came back to life in front of the Cabin, and that's when the shooting of the movie ended. That is, all this was actually being shooting. But strangely, the character of Cabin had to be played by another man wearing a mask like Cabin, so what happened to the real Cabin? And this is where we find out that the real Cabin has been put in a mad ward, because since the day he was trying to convince everyone that this Hitler is the real Hitler, everyone thought he was mad and admitted him to the hospital. Now we see the real Hitler driving around with Helena, and by then Hitler had occupied a different place in the minds of the German people. With his popularity also involved in local politics, Hitler was gradually planning to return to the center of power in Germany. And right at the end of the story we hear one of Hitler's words again, where he said, I will work to bring Germany back to central power. And with this incident, today's story ends. Although fictional, the story was remarkable. Hitler is the only example of how one man's ideology can control the people of an entire nation. Anyway, tell me how you like the story in the comments, and subscribe the channel to get more interesting videos like this. I'm leaving today, bye bye.